Hello, everybody. Allison Dunning with the Artist on Purpose podcast, and I am here with Rothstein Campbell. And
Yes.
you are located where in the country?
Yes, I am currently located in Chesterfield, Virginia, about 30 minutes south of Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, and how's the weather over there today?
Today is partly cloudy. We had some very heavy rain that has come over this week. It's supposed to be a couple more rainy days, and then we have a couple of days it's going to shoot over 101 degrees.
Oh, now are
Yeah.
you in the mountains over there in Virginia?
No,
No.
Richmond is really the central part of Virginia. And we are shielded by some mountains, I think, that are to the west of Virginia, which why I really love this area because in central Virginia, we're not challenged with that heavy snow in the wintertime that happens up north.
Right.
Yes, mountains really block a lot of that. And so we still have the cold weather, a few days of snow, but nothing like something that you're going to experience up northern Virginia.
Right. Wonderful. So you applied to interview on the Artist on Purpose podcast. We met kind of inadvertently and through 17 Hats, which is a CRM program. I've talked about it on other
Yes.
podcasts. We are
Yes.
both ambassadors of that program. And I would just love to hear more about what your art is because I know that 17 Hats was designed primarily initially for photography. However, a lot of other artists have branched out and other businesses are using it. But tell me more about you because you are a photographer and I know
Yes.
there's a lot behind that and what you do.
Yes. So thank you, Allison. Thank you for this opportunity in this moment. I really definitely appreciate it. Again, I'm Rothstein Campbell. My business is ProVision Multimedia Enterprises. I've been a photographer unofficially for so long. I can't even remember how long. I've just always just loved a camera. My dad was in it. He never really talked to me about it, but I just knew he had an old Canon, I forget that, AE1. He had a Canon AE1, a film camera. And matter of fact, I'm going to still look for it in that house where they lived at and see if I can find that camera. But anyway, he used to take camera, film, and it's just something I picked up. I always loved to take pictures. Out of all the family pictures, you'll never hardly see me in them because I'm the one always taking the pictures. And so in that, I decided about 3 years ago that I just wanted to make this an official business. I've always wanted to have a business, tried a bunch of different things, but nothing was never really that passionate love. And so photography has always been a very strong passion of mine. Turned it into a business about 3 years ago, started. So our business, when I say our, I always speak of multiple because it's designed to be that have multiple tentacles to it, which will be supported by people that will be helping me out. And so ProVision Multimedia Enterprises started about 3 years ago. We do photography, which we focus on headshots, whether it's a corporate or individual. We do events. Candid photography is like the cream of the crop for us. And then we also do portraits, and that's where the art piece of it comes in, is the portrait side. And then we do some videography services. Yeah.
You
So
say we, is it more than you? Is your family or do you have employees or
yes. So no on the employees. And when I say we, so this business was designed that we were going to build. When I say we, I'll always say we. If we is just me, it's still a we because there's others that support this business. And
you're
so it's
wearing
not just about
17
me.
hats?
I'm wearing 17 hats. Yes. So it's always going to be a we. But the design and the goal of this particular business was to build a portfolio or a Rolodex, old school Rolodex of photographers. And in that concept, and so we'll be almost like a contract base, and we'll negotiate rates up front depending on the skill levels. And then as we get contracts, then all I'm doing is just going into my Rolodex, picking a photographer for that particular thing, and I'm making a phone call, say, hey, I got a job. Do you want to do it? The rate is already negotiated, so I don't have to worry about that. And just move from there. And then there'll be 1029s until we get to the place where employees will be necessary. We're going to stay at 10, yes. But that's the we of our enterprises solution. We also do teaching. So being a certified photographer through Professional Photographers Association, PPA, now I'm able to teach what I have mastered. And so we're going to open up an education piece to this business to where we're teaching others who want to learn basic photography. And that's through, understanding what that baseline is. Once you understand the baseline, you can build from there. You can become your own artist in your own way.
Yeah. So when you are, is there a particular part of photography? Because I know I'm not a photographer. I do not possess the talent behind the screen. I don't see it the way you do. So is there a particular avenue that you are most passionate about, like portraiture or
Yes.
whatever, all the different things?
Yes. Yes. That so out of all the things that we do, I'm most passionate about events. And when I say an event can really be anything. And to break that down a little bit, being a candid photographer. And candid photography is just nothing more than just telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
And so with an event, you have to tell a story. And that story starts at the beginning before everybody gets in and somebody labored with all of those details to make that place just look the way it is. And so, capturing the details. And then from there, the story begins and the event begins. And so we're there to capture that event and tell the story because the host that hired us will not see everything. It's impossible. They're so excited about what they're doing and what they've put on. And it's my job to make sure that my company captures from the beginning before people start touching stuff all the way to the end of that particular contract. We did a wedding, and a wedding is an event.
It is.
There are people that specialize, yes, and all they do is weddings. That's not me. But I guarantee that my company understands that it's an event and it's a story to be told and the quality is there. And so the last wedding I did it was about a month ago, I was right on the dance floor with them dancing. I was involved in what they were doing. And it was like, oh, they were all hyped up because we're a part of that event also.
Yeah.
And so if I had to pick anything that really, really excited me, it's being a candid photographer, telling that story. So
Right.
when you get your role or your online portfolio, you're going to be able to go through from the beginning to the end and say, oh yeah, that's really nice. I really did a good job. Or the company did a really good job. Or the caterers whoever you hired,
Right. And
you're going to
that's
see
what
it.
they hire professionals to do, right? Is to make
Yes.
sure
Yes.
that those pieces, they're trusting you and hiring you to capture
Yes.
everything that they can't see you do.
Yes.
They just have to
Yes.
trust, right? So hire the
Definitely.
best, right? That's
Definitely.
always the way to
Definitely.
go. So,
Definitely. Everybody's not a candid photographer though.
no. What,
You know,
tell me what the difference is, because I don't know. I'm not a photographer.
what the difference, this is my opinion. What the difference is that you're going in with the mindset that you have to replicate what your host is not going to see. And they should be able to, when they get their portfolio, to be able to sit back and see their event again, but from your perspective of capturing everything and them being able to see that story because they're not going to see it. They're too busy. Their mind is occupied.
Right. So I have a question for you. What did you
Mhm.
do as a profession prior to opening up your photography company?
Yeah, so about in November of 1985, I joined the military. I joined the Army.
Okay.
And I originally born and raised in Oakland, California, and I wanted a change of scenery, a change of pace, and a change of environment. So I went into the military with the mindset of going in for 3 years, serve my country, and get away. And 3 years turned into 20 years in 3 months. And so I retired from the Army in February of 2006. And it was an experience like no other. If I had another life reset, I would do it all over again.
Oh, good.
And from there, after coming out of the military, just made a decision that my family, my wife, been married for 39 years, and our two children, we moved to Virginia. And my wife's family is in Virginia. And so between California and Virginia, Virginia was the best choice. And it has been an amazing ride here. And then I started working for the federal government where I currently work right now. I have 3 years left. I'm going to retire from the federal government and I'm going to do what I love full time.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the story of being an artist, right? You curate your craft, right, while you are taking care of business, which is raising families, living
Yes.
life, doing all that stuff.
Yes.
And then eventually we get, and I hate to say that we have to get old enough because I know there are a lot of artists out there that they just jump in full time as an artist in a young age and just sink or swim, right? But some of us, we've
Yes.
had the opportunity to curate our
Yes.
skill and our talent, and then we can just jump in full blast. So, was
Yes.
there a particular event that happened that you were like, "I'm doing this, I'm doing it now"? What happened 3 years ago that made you open your company?
So I had a friend that we went to church together. And my wife and I, when we left that particular ministry, I just happened to see him after maybe about 3 years or so, and we saw each other. He's a photographer. He's the one that really kind of took me downtown Richmond. He had a model, and I was able to experience taking pictures with professional lighting and a model that knew what to do, and just things that really just fired me up more. And so I saw him after about, 3 years, and he had shared something with me, that a project that he wanted to start, which was, to come together and start this company. And so we started working on the back end, officially 3 years, but probably started it. It's been around for about 4.5 years because it took us a long time to build the back end processes. And I would tell any entrepreneur that wants to start a business, it starts with back end processes. You just don't jump out there and just saying, "Oh, I'm available." No, if you don't have a process in place, you're going to sink really quick. So we started working on back end processes. We gathered some people together that wanted to work with us. We started working. Meanwhile, he was in a transition of an old job. He got injured because of some legal things that were going on. He couldn't commit full time because he was within this legal thing with his old job. And so while we were working on the back end, he had got finished, and because he had to start a new career and we were trying to do this and I already had a full-time job,
Right?
it just didn't work with his family because he had to start all over again. And this wasn't going to pay the bills because
No.
this was new.
Right.
And so I think March of maybe 20, I think it was March of 2022, 23, 22. Anyway, he was like, "Hey, Rick, I give you my blessings. You just keep it moving. I need to focus on this new career. And I don't want anything. I'm turning everything over to you." And so from there, I just, got myself together, narrowed down the scope of what we did, and just start building from there. And we officially, I think it was May of 23, this ProVision Multimedia Enterprises was official.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Congratulations. Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing. So it was a process, and then it was a gift, basically.
Yes,
Like
yes,
it just kind of everything worked in its way. So
yes,
where do you see yourself going with this in the future?
yes.
What's your plan? Are you going to build it for the next 10, 15 years? Are you going to ultimately get to the point where you got a camera and that's when you want to go, right? I mean,
Yes, yeah, yes, yes. Well, thank you, Allison, for asking that question because I have a huge vision for this company, but I also have common sense and I know I can't do everything at once. And so sometimes when people ask me that, I'm kind of very careful in what I express because I don't want people to think that, oh, you want to do all of this stuff. It's not that I want to do all this stuff, but I do have a vision
right.
for where I want this company to go. So, first and foremost, like in 2026, I have this project called the Legacy Project.
Okay.
And that's on the portrait side of our business. And that's the artist side of building up legacy. And when you think about legacy in this area that we're going to focus on is you think about generations that may be right in your own home that have not been captured.
Hmm.
You think about generations that are within your city and they're not captured. You think about young children that actively talk to their grandparents and actively connect with their grand and great grandparents, but yet and still when that child maybe get old enough to really have a realization about life and people, that grandparent or that great grandparent is gone because it's the life cycle.
Right.
And so how about forever memorializing that those generations in a portrait, and oh, by the way, have that portrait hanging up somewhere in a home as an art piece.
Yes.
That's the legacy project. Legacy project is also going into long-term care facilities,
Okay.
and hearing the story of some of those people that have stories in there, and capturing them with a portrait, and sealing those portraits. So that's 2026. The focus, we're focusing on, and education. And so when I come out of full-time work, my goal is to be managing those pieces that have those lanes that are actively being used.
Yes.
I'll always have a camera in my hand, but in the education piece where I'm teaching that basic photography skill set, I'm also monitoring the people that I'm teaching because remember, I'm building a Rolodex. I want to be able to reach those people. And so I know that the vision I have can come to life because as I'm growing homegrown photographers, I'm also using them in the business to make those areas that we're focusing on come to life. So it's huge, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah. Well, the only way to move forward is to have vision, right? You have to have a goal or a vision of where you want to go, and then
Yeah.
you walk the path and see what the path
Yes.
does for you, right? So,
Definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
that's my belief system, anyways. I mean,
I agree.
I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that I have a goal for the future on what I want to do. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question. How do you monetize the legacy project?
So that's definitely a great question because when I go so I already have the structure for long-term care facilities.
Okay.
And it's a turnkey solution. It's $250 per resident. And the goal is to go in, set up, capture, and return two framed 8x10s, and one is for the resident, the other one is for the residents, and to hopefully put together a wall. So just within that small price, um, there's enough in there for profit for the company itself. And so the goal of ProVision Multimedia Enterprises is to build relationships.
Okay.
Money's going to come. That is not the driving factor for my company. It is not money. It's relationships. Because I know I was always told that you build bridges and you pull maintenance on them. That way you can cross them at any time. When you burn them, of course, you don't know when you can cross.
Well, it's not there to cross, so you have
It's
to
not there.
build another
It's not
bridge.
there to cross. Or you might think it's a small piece on there till you get on there, and it's not there because you burned it. I'm
Right.
not into burning bridges. I'm into, like I said, building relationships, and I tell that to everyone that I talk to, because the financial overflow is going to come. But if I can give you a good quality product to where you can't get it for free, of course. But
Right.
if I can give you a quality product where I can sustain my business and people that are working with me, I'm in a place to where I'm okay with that.
Good. Well, and that's
Yeah.
a beautiful place to be. So,
Yeah.
speaking of building relationships, how do you do that? I Googled you a little bit, and I see that you're a member of local chambers.
Yes.
What other kind of groups, and how do you go about that process of building
Yes.
relationships and networking. I mean, I'll be honest, that's a big part of my company. Networking is like, I have to be a full-time networker in order to sustain the business that I have. And I
Yes.
imagine other artists probably have to do the same thing.
Definitely, definitely. And so networking is another strong thing for anyone starting out. You must. So first, let me say how. You asked me how. How do I do it? How? So I connect with one way is I connect with this organization called Alignable. If anyone has never heard of Alignable, please look it up. Alignable is an excellent free resource. You don't have to pay. You can do free, or you can do pay to get a little deeper into the organization. But Alignable is a great, they have local meetups every month where you can just go and just talk about your business and connect with people that and listen to their businesses. That's one way that I do. Another way, I just joined this network called BNI, Business Network International. And that organization I really like because it's not about you making money, it's about how much business you pass along. And so they measure success through how much business has been passed. That concept I really like because I'm always sharing about other people's businesses, especially when people ask me. So I knew that that business model would go well with me. I'm new in that organization, but that is a paid organization, and you have to be sponsored to become a member of that organization. But it's a great networking organization.
And they also
Um,
limit how many
yes,
type of businesses in
yes,
each chapter, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I'm the only photographer in that chapter, and I locked out that position. So it's something that if someone is very interested in, you can either find a chapter and go, or you can be invited out. And it's just something to maybe ponder on. And I'm always listening out and looking for events where I can just go and either be a fly on the wall or be a part of. There's a guy that's in this Richmond area. His name is Mike, and his podcast is On the Mic with Mike, and on the MIC with MIKE.
Right.
And he made a statement that was very profound. And his statement was, it's not about who you know, because a lot of times people brag about they know this one and they know that one. But he said that's not really important. He said what's really important is who knows you.
Who knows you?
And I started thinking about that and being in the room. Because if somebody, if somebody knows you and they know you enough, again, that relationship to say, hey, Rothstein, I want you to come out here and I want you to just be a part of this. And now I'm in the room,
Yeah.
a room that I wouldn't have been a part of if they didn't know me.
Right.
I could have knew everyone in that room, but it didn't mean anything until they got to know me.
Yes.
And so I was able to go out to the South Hill Chamber of Commerce, and there was an experience with me being in the room that opened up some doors. Tomorrow I'm headed out to South Hill for a grand opening of an event that I wouldn't have been a part of if I wouldn't have been in the room.
Okay.
And so the South Hill Chamber of Commerce director, she's getting to know me, and I'm getting to know her and build that relationship
Yeah.
to where I'm a thought in her head.
Yeah. I mean, I think entrepreneurship is relationship building, and that is
Yes.
90% of it. But at the same time, we are unique in the fact that we look at our art as a business, but we are also at the soul of what we do, artists, and
Yes.
expressing and sharing
Yes.
and capturing, in your case,
Yes.
capturing the world around you. And I say that's a unique, I mean, I don't know. I mean, are we really unique? I say that we're a smaller faction of the world being a business entrepreneur that's an artist than anything else. Because
Yes.
we have to use both sides of our brains to make it work, right? So yeah.
Yes. Definitely.
So
Definitely. Yes. Definitely.
in your application, it's not really an application, but when you reached out to me, you mentioned that there was a family that the thing that like did it for you was a family reached out to you after you had taken their portraits, and they said that it had captured their worth and their value as a family. And give me a little bit more around that particular scenario, and how did they reach out to you and tell you that after you did that shoot? Is it called a shoot or a gig or whatever it is?
Well, yeah. So most of the times when I'm doing something like you asked me about, it's because I've captured a family in a portrait, like in a portrait session. A lot of times that happens also in headshot sessions, because headshot sessions, you are who you are up front. People see you before they see anything. But specifically, give me one sec, I gotta is when the family, reached out and I took their family portraits. And just and it one lady in particular, she reached out and she said, "Hey, I know that my time is going to come, and when my time comes, I want to make sure that there is a portrait of me that is not something that they found from who knows when ago. I want to be represented like I am today." And so in that session, actually went out, did that portrait session, and she had, I think, three husbands that she still was living past them. And so when we went back to deliver her portrait session, the emotion was overwhelming for her, because she, first of all, it was her and a today representing to her, and she was a beautiful, I think she was 82.
Wow.
And it today is one of the pictures that I show in my portfolio. And she was just really, really excited. And even in that, I got back with her and said, "Hey, you started something for me, because I would have never have thought about doing something like this from the manner where you presented it to me."
Right. So is that the seed that planted the Legacy Project?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That planted the legacy process project, and that had me to keep this with me. And all this is I can share my portfolio of people that I take,
Oh,
that I've gone into long-term care facilities and taken their pictures and captured them. And so this is what, and that's the young lady right there.
oh yeah, she's beautiful.
Yes.
Wow, what a
And
beautiful
she
photo.
is, yes, she's the one that got me started on this legacy project,
Okay.
because it changed her. And she had the idea, but until she connected and sought for it out and then see it come to pass, is she was really excited about it.
Right. So
Yeah.
tell me, what is the biggest hurdle that you deal with in your business today? Is it time? Is it ideas? What would you say
Mhm.
your biggest hurdle is?
One of the biggest, two. One is time, because I don't own it yet. I'm trying to own my
Yes.
time, and so that'll
When
happen in a
when
in a
you
couple of
figure that
years.
out, you let me know so that, and you can share that secret with me, and then only people
Yes.
on the podcast will get to know that secret. Okay, so don't forget that. All right.
Yes, yes. And I think the other one is just really connecting with the decision maker.
Okay.
You can talk to multiple layers of people, but until you get to that decision maker to show them how you can help, even a pain point that could be there that they don't realize it yet, you're going to forever be talking to just layers and layers of people. And so for me, it's that decision maker. That's a pain point for me. Is
So
that decision maker.
that's a good one, because I think that's true for most people. How do you get to that particular person? Because that's not always the person who's reaching out on your lead form, right? To
Mm-hmm.
reach out.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually a person in the system that's like, yeah, can you reach out to the photographers and get a quote for me, right? So yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. Yes.
And what have you done
Yeah.
to get to navigate that so far?
Yes. So a lot of times when I get on a call, I try not to go straight into asking the question of, are will you be the one making the decision, or is but I try to get enough information before I go into trying to ask that. But the goal is to try to get that up front because I don't want to spend a lot of time. I don't want to say wasted because it's not wasted because that person can also pass along just the interaction that they had with you, you know. But I do want to get to, okay, are you going to be making the decision? And if you're not, how do we get to that person that's going to be making the decision?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'll tell you how I do it in my company. Now, I'm a balloon decorator, so it's completely different. But you know, the related contact piece
Mm-hmm.
on your 17 hats,
Mm-hmm.
that I have a little email that goes out to all of my clients, and
Mm-hmm.
that way, and I'm basically looking for the person who's making the decision, the person who's going to sign the contract. And so I have an email all sculptured for that. And then that makes sure that I'm communicating with all the people they need to be communicated with. It's not
Okay.
foolproof in any way, shape, or form, but it does help get that little bit more information. So,
Right.
um,
Right. Definitely.
yeah, I mean,
Definitely
hello.
something to think about.
Yeah, definitely one way to
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah.
if we all knew the answers, it would be easy, right? But it's not.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah. It's not.
yeah, and I imagine as a photographer, you have more people that they can choose from, right? They can choose from different many
Definitely.
different photographers. As a balloon
Definitely.
decorator, there's not there's not more than one potentially in an entire region. So I'm not saying I'm lucky. I'm just saying that I I don't have the same level of competition that I imagine
Right.
photographers have.
Right. Right. And I realize that first of all, everyone is not my client,
Right.
and I'm not trying to capture, all of the events. And that's why we're building on old school customer service.
Yes.
If someone is treated with decency and respect, if that's what they value, then they're going to lean toward me. If it doesn't matter to them about that, because photography, if you're a good photographer, you're gonna produce a good product, period.
Yeah.
So I need a differentiator, and for me it's customer service.
Customer service, which is old
Yes.
school and which is 100% the best way to do it. Because people
Yes.
don't, I mean, when they get good customer service, they're like stunned that that even
Right.
happened, right? So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
good for you.
Right. And then anyone can say I'm giving good customer service. So how do I how do I check? What is my check and balance? And the only thing that I have is my reviews.
Right.
If my reviews back up what I think I'm doing, then I'm okay. And right now I am more than satisfied from what people say,
Good for you.
and it's just getting higher and higher and higher. And so I know I'm doing what I've set out to do because that's what people are saying.
Yep. Round of applause. That's what that is. It's amazing. And reviews are so important, right? So,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
yeah, I have the unfortunate thing that I started my company before social media, online, Google, all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't understand the value of reviews. I didn't even know that they existed for such a big part of my company. So I am playing a lot of catch up. Whereas folks that have started, you know, from the get go, that's something you have to do. So,
Right.
yeah,
Well, trust me, I would have been at least three times more than what I have if I would have started. I didn't start till I think last year with
oh,
the Google review process. Yeah, I didn't. And even in that, I just learned about 3 months ago, even in your replies, it should be SEO compliant. And that's a whole nother animal. And so I just changed how my replies are.
right,
I was just saying thanks or appreciate it
right.
or
No, you
yeah.
have to say
No.
little words of this is what we do
Yes.
and this is how we take care of you and
Yes. 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 And
it's
that's
so
something I had to
important.
learn.
It's I mean
Yes.
entrepreneurship and is not for the faint of heart, and that's just the truth. And so I commend you for the work that you're doing and the commitment you've got to your craft, and just looking online, just the brief I've done and your little portfolio that you showed. It's beautiful work. I think I mean, I am no judge, but I like it. I think it's beautiful.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So any parting words, anything you want to share about words of wisdom to new people getting to the art
Yes.
entrepreneurship, or
Yes.
anything?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, always appreciate those that appreciate you and that are willing to help in any way possible. It doesn't matter how small or how great. Always show appreciation. Stay stay approachable. Always remember that really a person can make or break your business. So why not let them help make your business? And you do that through being attentive to their needs. Never go in telling a person how you're going to do their service. Listen to what they want and adjust accordingly. They're spending their hard money to hire you. You don't go in telling them what you're going to do unless they ask your opinion. Always be attentive to your customers' needs and show them that you care. And I tell you, it will go a long, long way. And anyone starting out, if even if you need help, I'm a mentor also. I mentor people. I have three photographers right now that I've been mentoring. One of them has, I say, graduated. I can walk away and give her a contract and she can do it all on her own. And so just be present and always take care of people.
Yeah, yeah. We need people like you. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Well, it has
And,
been,
and be genuine. Be
and be
genuine.
genuine. Yeah,
Don't blow smoke. Be genuine.
that's true. That's true. Well, I so appreciate you taking the time and to chat with me and share with me what you're doing.
Yes.
I think it's
Thank you.
beautiful, and I can't wait to hear more about it as we move through life. So
Yes. Thank you for this opportunity, Allison. I really appreciate it.
you are so welcome. This will come out in about 2 weeks from here, even though this part won't be on the video. I'll just let you know that
Okay.
it's no, yeah, 2 weeks, about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I will email you and let you know when it's going to come out, because
Thank
we
you.
do it
I
every.
appreciate it.
So, and you can follow the Artist on Purpose podcast on Facebook, Spotify,
Yes.
and YouTube. So,
Okay.
okay. Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. It was a
It
pleasure.
was so great meeting you. Where are you at?
I'm in Colorado. So, and this is my office. My daughter and my husband painted this mural behind us. So,
I am headed to Colorado next month.
oh, where are you going?
Denver. I'm going to a conference. I think the conference is downtown Colorado at the Hilton Garden Inn, something, something, something,
So probably
from
after Denver.
the
Yep.
14th through the 17th of July.
Okay.
Yes, my wife is coming with me.
Oh,
So if there's an opportunity to meet, I would love to meet.
yeah. Well, let's chat after this, and
Okay.
figure out how we could do that. My birthday's in July, and I celebrate the entire month of July. It's actually the 18th of July, but I start on just July 1st through the end. And so yeah, and Denver's an hour away, so we're an hour north, and I'm
Okay.
in Denver all
Okay.
the time, so
Okay.
not a big deal at all. So I love
Okay.
that. Let's plan on trying to maybe go have lunch or dinner or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
That'd be wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All
I
right, we'll talk
appreciate you.
later. Okay, bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.